Hey guys, Dan here. Just letting you know that I do reactions every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I also do live streams on YouTube and Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. All my socials will be linked down below, and if you really want to help out the channel, there will also be a link to my Patreon. It's not much right now, but it's a start. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and now onto the video. Have a good day. Hey guys, Dan here and welcome back to another video and another reaction. And today we're going to be reacting to ranking every engineer weapon in MvM. This is the third video that we are reacting to today, so if you guys please give a like to this video, subscribe to the channel and share this video. This video was made by TF2, so be sure to go to the link down below into the description and give him a like on the original video. I have a few more things that I want to do throughout the week, you guys will see. But right now we got 3 reactions today, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So now, with a few more things to say after the reaction, I think we're ready. But as the usual, let's try to guess first which are the top 3 weapons for engineer. I'd say that the main weapon for engineer that will be in S tier will be the shotgun that can teleport sentries. For the second one, I will say that it will be the Wrangler, and for the third one, the Jag. I don't play engineer a lot, but these are just the weapons that I usually go to. I know that the Wrangler will be probably the best weapon for the second slot just because it helps so much to save the sentry, as well as the first weapon that I totally forgot the name, the one that can actually teleport sentries around and to help you build it faster, I would say. So guys, ready? You're ready? Let's go.
What are Angie's best and worst weapons in MvM? Well, we're here once again to answer that question in the form of a tier list. You probably know
every time that TF2 starts the video, I just look at his loadout to see the great banana hat. And as I'm recording this, he released a new video. I think it was a documentary about hacks, but it's an episode 2 of a documentary about people who cheat on MvM, which I'm very interested to react in the future, but it's an hour long, so I need to do a specific day for that.
Let's begin.
F tier Gunslinger, yeah.
When we added the F tier exclusively for the rocket jumper? Well, let's Control-C, Control-V that shit right here. The Gunslinger is one of the biggest meme weapons in the game. Replacing your big hulking tank of a sentry with a little
another mini sentry is like ordering most times the mini sentry will not do anything compared to the big one on the MvM.
Don't troll people. You may as well call them thought guns because they've taken 4 Ds in a row at this point. There isn't a single situation where the shotgun is a better option than any of Engineer's other primaries. I don't need to say any more because you've already heard the same shit 4 times in a row. The Eureka effect has a bunch of upsides that don't mean shit. The faster teleporter construction never matters in a mode where they don't get destroyed, and the ability to teleport back to spawn doesn't really mean much when you have an upgrade that can do it for you, and even then you don't need to do it that often. 50% slower construction also sucks
Sorry, I had to mute myself for
usually you'll have an
a few
upgrade
seconds, my bad.
So that normally doesn't matter. But the biggest problem is that this weapon gets 20% less metal from dispensers and ammo boxes.
Ooh, yeah, that's a very
big
upside down.
Sentry instead of, you know, actually repairing it. It's got a lot of fluffy stats that don't mean much, but that one certainly does. The pistol might come as a bit of a shock considering I put it in D tier for Scout, but for Engie it's not as bad, and here's why. Although the damage
is a viable source of damage for the engineer
when
he's shooting.
This is the only engineer secondary in the game that allows you and your sentry to both attack different targets at once with the cost of no metal, and I think that's a common enough occurrence to be put in the C tier.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Thompson came so high.
Shooting them at giant Uber medics and not allowing them to pop Uber.
That's a good
plan.
Every
other way, this weapon is completely and utterly useless. The projectile is slow, it does bad damage, and can't even prevent small Uber meds from popping, unlike the giants. And even though it looks like it should have projectile penetration just like the Righteous Bison, it doesn't, not even as an upgrade. It has one very niche use, but that's the only credit I can actually give
it.
The
Thompson is just a very bad weapon.
Only on the Engineer would a weapon where you routinely get a stack of 35 crits be put in the B tier. That's not to say this weapon is bad by any means, it's just just a little too expensive to really make work. It
I
only
can
having
agree.
3 shots in the clip means you need to invest into a shitload of upgrades in order
the
for
decreased
it to reach
amount
its
of
maximum
rounds you can put
potential.
on
And that's money that the engineer usually doesn't have until the later
this shotgun
waves.
that I
There's
just
also
totally
the
forgot
fact
the
that
name.
although 35 crits is plenty,
makes
that
you
cap
lose a lot of
starts to
money.
look pretty limiting when your sentry is getting hundreds of kills each mission. This makes the engineer either have to destroy his sentry every few dozen kills and spend a canteen to rebuild it just so he can make full use of the crits, or he has to keep his sentry alive and play the game without them. So for these reasons, the Frontier Justice isn't as good as you might think, but it's still a pretty big upgrade from the stock shotgun.
I mean, if you have a bad team, yeah, you're gonna have to be able to just deal with it and think that you will only be able to get the crits in the end of each round, but maybe you'll get a 300 crits if a sentry gets over 50 kills or even over 100 small kills, you know? Depends. And for the second scenario is that if you actually lose your sentry a lot, you're gonna have a few crits here and there because your team will probably be doing poorly. So I don't know about this tier, but I can agree that if to make it functional or to make it really good, you need to spend a lot of money that could have gone into the sentry, which is your main source of damage and help.
The Southern Hospitality is pretty much the exact same as the stock wrench, lumped with 2 downsides in exchange for a mediocre benefit. For every successful wrench hit, you will deal 5 seconds of bleed damage, which, as I mentioned in the scout tier list, is never worth it in a game mode with weapons that rip apart small robots before one tick of that bleed damage goes through. This is in exchange for 20% more damage to fire, which doesn't really matter because your sentry fucks up any and all pyros, but the big one is the no random critical hits. Especially as you upgrade more wrench swing speed, this change hurts your overall DPS and gives you no upside to compensate, but it's nothing too terrible.
Okay, so I think we're right. I think it's the Jag.
A-tier. Yeah, some people like to claim that the stock wrench is the best in MvM, and to be honest, I can kind of understand why they have that perspective, but I personally think that another wrench is just slightly better. The stock wrench is still very good. It has no negative stats that make it better or worse off
because of the speed
damage,
increase on the hit. You'll be able to heal your sentry faster, you'll have a bigger amount of metal.
This thing completely invalidates giant soldiers, giant demos,
look at this, is beautiful, just being able to destroy all the rockets that the giant is throwing at you while they are critted.
Gets evaporated by the
beautiful.
NG simply pressing the right click button.
Look at the heavies with the breast
fire
beast.
You can block for your team is downright overpowered sometimes, and moments where the medic is forced to pop his shield to survive go down significantly. It's not as spammable as you might think,
but actually I'm kind of surprised about this. But we do have a lot of metal on MvM. I should have seen this coming.
And your team will love you for using
but compared to the
Widowmaker is engineered
Wrangler,
best
yeah,
damage
the
dealing
Wrangler is still the best
primary.
one.
Easily, no contest, end of discussion. It is very cheap to upgrade at just 400 credits, and
I need
as
to
long
try
as
that
you're
one
doing
day,
more than
the
30
Widowmaker
damage
on
per
MvM.
shot, you literally never ever have to reload. And even if for some reason you miss,
just like Lazy Purple said when responding to Uncle Dane, Lazy, what kind of defense is this? I am the defense. This is the battle engineer for MvM.
all the hitboxes cluttering your screen, NG's metal capacity has you covered, allowing you to shoot more shots than you otherwise would be able to.
Dude, that's basically infinite shooting with a shotgun. Look at that. Look at that over there. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Damage dealers in the entire game. And of course, shooting this at the tank, combined with your sentry's fire, gives the NG the single greatest DPS against tanks in the entire game.
Really?
The only real issue is that you still need to tend to your sentry whenever it needs repairing and when a buster shows up. So you can't farm damage as much as you'd like to because you have your traditional NG responsibilities that you have to take care of. And because of that, I think it just barely skirts out of S tier.
Makes sense. Hey, we got one there.
Is the single greatest utility in the entire game, to the point
I
where
was right
after
about
using
this
it
one,
for so long,
but it is on top one.
Feels like a crutch. This weapon just gives you so much freedom in terms of how you can really play the engineer. You can repair your building from a distance, so you don't need to be in the line of fire when your sentry is getting attacked, so you don't have to worry about dying and watching your sentry go down with you.
Makes sense.
That by itself is an amazing trait, but this weapon's biggest claim to fame in MvM is being able to save your sentry from long range at the cost of 100 metal. This happens
and you probably have hundreds of metal to
use
use
or incoming spam that your sentry can't take. And again, rather than put yourself at risk to save it, the Rescue Ranger saves you all that hassle with just the click of a button. Its only real downside is not being able to do lots of damage, but the next weapon has us covered on that front.
Got the second
here's
one?
The question.
What
happens when you take the most overpowered weapon in TF2, have all of its effects stack with MvM's upgrades, and remove the only one downside that this weapon normally has?
Wait, it removes the fact that it gets...
You get the Wrangler in its current state. This weapon is just fucking
Wait, it removes it being kind of...
double your sentry's firing speed.
I know for a few seconds when you remove the grasp of the Wrangler.
Increases from the upgrades. Like, let me put this into perspective for you.
Okay, go on.
The Wrangler will give a maximum building health sentry that blocks giants and is immune to crits 2,600 health. Which, by the way, you can Rescue Ranger back to you if for whatever reason all of that health is getting depleted. And it has all of this while doubling the sentry's damage output. Oh, and you know the downside this weapon has in casual? The 3 seconds of inactivity when switching weapons? Well, because you can instantly pick up and put down your buildings in MvM, that one downside is completely negated. I don't know what else to say. This thing can single-handedly tank any damage from any giant or any group of robots in the entire game with a massive DPS.
Look at that! Look at that! That sentry is basically Heavy's brother in the front lines now. You guys saw how the Heavy and the sentry were blocking?
And now we go from 2 broken weapons to one that is just reasonably better than the stock wrench. This is actually a contentious opinion, but here's why I've come to that conclusion. First of all, I must say that this weapon's stats
I think I was right. I don't think we have anything above those 3.
You get faster construction time, but you'll almost always be using canteens. This doesn't matter. You take 3 hits to remove a sapper instead of 2, but this almost never happens.
I can agree.
This doesn't matter. You do 25% less damage per swing. This doesn't matter.
I agree.
The real trade-off
also,
is
the Jago is crits.
Worse repair rate for 15% faster swing speed. But the key thing to note is that the repair rate only applies to the health and not the ammo. Now, here's a question. How many times are you repairing your sentry where the bulk of that metal goes towards the sentry's ammo and not the health? The answer, all the time. Bullet robots, robot pyros, super scouts, giants being wrangled down with your Wrangler, tanks, you name it. When you're repairing your sentry, you're usually in a situation where you want to top it off on health and ammo. And in those situations, whether or not the 20% health repair nerf is in effect or not, you still need to hit your sentry the same amount of times. The Jag gets those swings in faster, and that's why I believe it beats out the wrench, just by a little bit. And yeah, that's it for the
I was right on this one. Oh.
If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the
channel. Do we have a
meme
by the end of the video, Easy? Do we?
Like I keep saying, I got a shitload of videos in the works, and I hope you'll stick around to watch them.
And this was the video I spoke earlier, the cheating MvM. The case continues.
That's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. See ya.
Oh, but guys, I'm a little bit sad just by the fact that I did not get it right straight away in Heavy, because when we did the ranking every heavy weapons in MvM, I got a little bit sad because I presumed that it would be the minigun, either the minigun or the brass beast, but I presumed that the minigun would be on top, the sandwich, and also the gloves of running speed. And the brass beast got on top. I chose the wrong minigun, and I just feel like I broke my on a roll, type of kill streak on this, because I got all of the Pyro's weapons correctly. I got all of the Demo Man's weapons correctly. I got I would say 3 of the weapons correctly on top, but I don't know. I just feel a little bit sad that I did not choose the brass beast instead of the minigun. And now I got all of the engineer's weapons correctly. So we are so far in 6 videos. I would say that we got 3 out of 3 correctly with no discussion. And maybe debating a little bit, we got heavy stew, but that's a discussion to another day for you guys to leave in the comments of the video. So guys, thanks so much for coming, thanks so much for staying. Yep, engineer is very OP on MvM, no discussion about that, and I need to try to understand more of the regular and casual too, so I can actually try to use it. So, I hope that you guys can give a like to this video, subscribe to this video, also give a like and consider subscribing to Wheezy TF2. Once again, he posted a new video today, cheating in MvM, the case continues. This is a follow-up of his previous video on cheating on MvM, so these are very interesting videos. And just a reminder, I do live streams every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I do reactions every Monday, Wednesday, and also Friday. I hope to see you guys there. We've been getting so many people on the live streams, which is very amazing. Also, my socials will be linked down to the description if you guys want to follow me, as well as my Patreon. It's still in the beginning, but I'm trying. I think beyond that, I think we're good. I just hope that you guys are good, you guys are safe, and now, until next video, bye, see ya.